Class is in session. This is the Draft Seminar Rookie Profile Series hosted by Matt Hicks, the FF Educator, and I am joined, as always, by John Laub, the Gridiron Scholar. This is the Hassan Haskins Fantasy Football Rookie Profile episode. We may have saved him until the end, but let me tell you, he is worth waiting for. We are excited to dig into the running back out of Michigan. Before we do that, I want to make sure folks know that they can go back and listen to the entire Rookie Profile series or look forward to our future rookie coverage here by making sure you're subscribed wherever you're watching or listening on the Rookie Big Board podcast channel, the Rookie Big Board YouTube channel, or the NFL Draft Bible podcast network. You can find more of John's work at footballdiehards.com, and you can get all of my rookie analysis, including the newly released 2022 rookie guide at patreon.com/the FF Educator. John, Hassan Haskins, the running back out of Michigan.
I've been waiting all season to talk about Hassan Haskins. Matt, anyone who follows me on Twitter knows that I'm a lifelong Wolverines fan, but I put aside my bias when I'm doing my scouting reports. But he has a special place now with, Tyrone Wheatley, Tim Biakabatuka, Mike Hart, and now Hassan Haskins as an all-time Wolverine back. But none of that has anything to do with his draft potential. I'm here with you to break down what this young man can do for fantasy football and hopefully for an NFL team. In 2021, Matt, he really did come out of nowhere. When we were looking back at last summer, it's not like college fantasy football fans, draft experts were ranking Hassan Haskins at the top of their boards. So he really put together a season for the ages. Second team All-American and first team All-Big Ten. He established a school record with 20 rushing touchdowns, Matt. He was a monster near the goal line. He led Michigan in rushing yards with 1,327, and he corralled 18 passes for 131 yards. Why is that significant? Blake Corum was in that backfield, and Blake Corum's a good running back. So Hassan Haskins posted those numbers in a 3/4 of the year timeshare because Blake Corum got hurt and missed some games at the end. So fantastic numbers against Ohio State. Rushed for a career best 168 yards and 5 touchdowns. He clinched the Big Ten East, and he was named Player of the Week in the Big Ten. Just a fantastic season. In 2020, COVID, he led the team in rushing with 375 yards, but he only had 61 carries, and he did score 6 touchdowns. 2019, he flashed a little bit more back then, Matt. Honorable mention All Big Ten with 622 yards and 4 touchdowns. We go back to high school. He was only a 3-star recruit, number 15 player in Missouri, and number 95 running back in the nation by 24/7 Sports. But he did, as a senior, Matt, he rambled for over 2,000 yards and 31 touchdowns. I love the film. He's a bully. He hurts people. He's great between the tackles. What does your film breakdown say, Matt?
Yeah, John, it's got to start with the strength here. Haskins is a powerful and tenacious runner. He's got great lower body strength, good contact balance. It's hard to knock him off his path when he's running with a full head of steam. I think he could be an effective goal line back, John, in the NFL, which we know is very important here for guys who are probably going to be profiled into a 2-down role in the NFL. Having that goal line upside is huge. Now, I want to point out it's not the most important thing when it comes to fantasy football, but he is a good pass blocker, John. He's aggressive. He's got a good anchor. He's physical and taking on blitzers. He's smart. He picks up assignments well. He's not going to be a liability, which means he could get on the field quickly in the NFL. He could boost his way up depth charts if NFL coaches feel confident having him out there to protect their young passers or their passers in general. I like his vision, John. He's a patient runner that displays good field vision, especially when running off tackle, and he can navigate well within tight spaces on the field. Now, We're going to talk about this, I'm sure. He has ghosted pro day workouts, Senior Bowl weekouts, any pre-draft workouts, John. And I think one of the reasons is because he's not going to run, or he wouldn't have run a good 40 time. He's not a speed back. He's not a burner. Now, he does have solid, good, or, downfield acceleration. He can build up steam, but he's not going to win in that way, right? And so if folks, really want their running backs to have breakaway speed or to be super quick and agile, that's not Hassan Haskins. But he doesn't need to do that to win. It's a specific role, John, but it still exists in the NFL. And I'm still into it. I'm excited about what Haskins can be. Let's circle back into those numbers.
Matt, I concur with you because I do believe there'll be 2 to 4 teams that really like Hassan Haskins' skill set as a 2-down back and a role for this young man in the NFL. I have visions of him playing in Tennessee behind Derrick Henry for a year or two, because you could just pound Henry, and then if you want some carries in a blowout late in the game, you could just put Haskins in there. He would be a great backup. You still need a pass catcher, so he needs to be in a backfield, but I think that's the type of offense and the type of role I would like to see him in. So I plug him into my model, 6'2", 228. There's no question. His size and physicality is there, and his vision between the tackles, Matt, is extraordinary. I love him in traffic. He does have quick feet for a big man. But you look at the career rushing yards, 23-24, 5.1 yards per carry, Matt. My model likes that. 24 receptions. You mentioned it. A two-down role in the NFL. I agree with you. I think he's a little bit limited. That's why in a fantasy draft, I would love him in the 4th or 5th round. NFL, I'm hoping for 5th round draft capital. 30 touchdowns, though. That is a role that someone's going to find in the NFL. We always like short yardage, and we like goal line backs. An NFL team will like that on the resume. You look at the scrimmage yards dominator, 24%. As I said, he shared time with Blake Corum. That's a pretty good number at Michigan. And he had 1,458 yards. Matt, he stiff arms people. He's tough. He bullies people. Big Hassan Haskins. What your fantasy footballers know?
Yeah, John, I have his NFL draft capital projected as day 3 early. Now, he referenced that a refusal to participate in the pre-draft process in terms of workouts. Will that turn some teams off of him? I imagine so. So with Hassan Haskins, I'm a big fan of him. I consider him to be one of my top sleeper candidates here, and we'll get into that more in a little bit. But that being said, it's going to be based on if he can capture round 4 or 5 NFL draft capital. If he slides past round 5, if NFL teams are turned off, or there's other reasons that we find that he's not working out, that could really, kind of throw out a lot of my excitement. But for now, I'm projecting him to be round 4 or 5, and I'm excited about him in that role. I think he can live in that flex filler range. That's my low-end running back 2, high-end running back 3. I think he's somebody who can find his way into an NFL rotation, but perhaps with limited upside. You mentioned it. I really do think he's primarily going to be a 2-down back in the NFL. We have seen that these guys can be effective, especially if given goal line opportunity, which I referenced earlier is, I think, a strength for Haskins' game. In terms of his rookie projection, I do think in a good landing spot here, and with that early day 3 capital, he may be going as high as the late 2nd round in rookie drafts. And John, I'm in on him at that value, even if especially if he slides into the 3rd round of rookie drafts. Again, assuming good draft capital, Haskins is going to be somebody that I am in on. I think he is a high upside prospect, and I'm very excited about him. Just like John, I hope folks are excited about the entire Draft Seminar Rookie Profile series here. It is coming to a close this week, but we have a ton of good information, and we have a lot more rookie content coming at you. So make sure, whether you're watching or whether you're listening, you're subscribed. As always, we appreciate you checking out